Hello world, welcome to my YouTube channel Grumpy Master 101. I am an IT enthusiast and this is my second video on the series Python for Coursera learners.
In this video, I'm going to solve a couple of exercises from chapter 2. I've already solved chapter 1 questions in my previous video. I'm going to put the link down in the description. Please check out that video.
These are the two questions from chapter number 2 that I'm going to solve today. As you can see, in question number 1, for each of the following expressions, write the value of the expressions and the type of the value of the expressions. Now, use the Python interpreter to check the answers. So, in this question particularly, it is asking us to use Python interpreter and not IDE. So, I will be using CMD prompt for that purpose. And here are given two variables: width, that looks integer because that's an integer number 17, and height, that is a decimal point number, so we take that as a float. Now, number 1, width is going to be divided by 2. Width is a numerator and this number 2 is a denominator, and such a division where we can see a double slash, we call that floor division in Python. Number 2, that's a division by another floating point number 2.0, and we divide width by 2.0, and at last height, which is already a floating point number, is going to be divided by an integer denominator. So we will be solving this question first.
This is my CMD prompt. I want to check whether I do have Python or not. Yes, I have Python already installed on my machine, and I want to enter into interpreter. So this is my interpreter mode. Now, according to the question, we have to take width as a variable, but that's an integer variable, and height also a variable, but that's a decimal, that's a floating point variable. So I once again go to the command prompt and I declare width to be 17 and height to be 12.0. Now, if you look at the questions, in number 1, we are going to make floor division. So that's what exactly I'm going to do. Width going to divide it by 2, and the value is 8. Now why 8? Let's take a look at the calculator. If you look at the calculator, when 17 is divided by 2, then we have got 8.5. Now, what do we make out of it? Let me get to the command prompt. Here, if you check at the command prompt, width is 17, and we are making a floor division. It's not a normal division, it's a floor division, which means we exclude the remainder part over there. Now, in the second question, we are going to divide width, which is an integer variable, by a decimal point denominator 2.0. How do we do that? Let's check. Width is going to divide it by 2.0, and that's a decimal point number, or that's a float. So 8.5, the answer is also float. Now the last question of question number 1 is height divided by 3. Height actually is a decimal point number, a float, and we have a denominator 3, which is an integer. So let's take a look at the nature of the division that happens over here. So height divided by 3.0. sorry, that should be integer, my bad, which is 4.0. We did not get 4, the whole number, but 4.0, that means of float. Because we have height, we have declared height as a float. That's why we also get the float as the answer or the output. So this was for the question number 1. By the way, why did I start YouTube? Because of a quote. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, and the second best time is now. Well, if we look at the second question, it says write a program which prompts the user for a Celsius temperature. Convert that temperature to Fahrenheit and print out the converted temperature. So we are given with some samples. If we enter 100 degrees centigrade, then our output should be 212 degree Fahrenheit. And so the same goes with 0 degree centigrade as well. Let me come to my command prompt to code this program. Now, if I move to my E drive, I'll check first. And if I go through this list, I can see that there is a directory, dir, that stands for directory or folder. Now, I need to enter into this, and let me check once more. And there are few Python files, so I will create one more and name it .py. All right. Now let me keep cent as the variable for centigrade. I need to enter the temperature in Celsius. Never mind for my typing speed. And since in the previous class I showed you that whatever we are going to input takes the form of string, so I need to change that into float. Here I have to put one more bracket. Now after this, my Fahrenheit, let me call it FH in camel case. The equation for converting this centigrade into Fahrenheit goes like this: centigrade into 1.8 plus 32. It comes from the fact, let me put it into a comment, it comes from the fact that centigrade is always 9 divided by 5 plus 32, correct? So eventually that is 1.8. After this, I need to print the output. Temperature in Fahrenheit is FH. So I hope I finished my coding over here. I need to save this file. One file is copied. I shall check whether that has been so or not, and I see yes, it has been really copied. Now I want to run this file. In order to run, I do like this, and I put 100 and 212. Yes. And if I go for 0 value of centigrade and put 0, 32. So you can see for 100 degrees centigrade it was 212, and for 0 degrees centigrade that was 32. So here we are at the end of the program. In this video I solved 2 questions from chapter number 2. In the upcoming video I will be going through a lot more other questions please support my channel. You can give thumbs up or thumbs down. And thank you very much for watching.